I look horrid. Americans, excuse me, I should be careful. Islam will terrorize me by calling the militarized police. I'm reading to you the full definition of terror. A state of intense fear, one that inspires fear, scourge, a frightening aspect, a cause of anxiety, an appalling person or thing, especially a brat. A reign of terror, violent or destructive acts, as bombing, committed by groups in order to intimidate a population or a government into granting their demands. Elizabeth. This is dated the 12th of September 2014. I am a neighbor of yours. I have also spoken to other neighbors and tenants in buildings surrounding your property. We all have a mutual complaint. It is David and Nicole in 1116 and 1 house. They have affected the quality. They have affected the quality of life in an adverse manner to everyone in this neighborhood. Despite numerous calls and visits from the police, they continue to yell and shout and fight with each other at all hours of the day and night, disturbing the peace. I understand that everyone lives a different life, and there are things, jobs people do to pay the rents. However, the noise they make with the scrap metal cans and bottles they collect and pile between your building and the one next door is unacceptable. They make no effort to do it quietly at all. When I have asked them to try to be quiet, could it be the terrorists from Iran? When I have asked them to try to be quiet, they use foul language towards Me and the noise increases. They are also unloading and loading their truck in a private driveway that belongs to the building next door. I think they're writing in third person. I don't know. You know these homosexuals, they never know what their identity is. One minute they want to be a woman, the next minute they act like one. A bitch. Survives while creating all this disturbance. So your tenants are not only disturbing the peace, they are also trespassing by using a driveway that is not part of the property. It's sad, the penmanship. The mother must have been a whore. Me and others in the neighborhood have been met with hostility and abusive language and behavior. It must be the homosexual in 26, not Daniel. Not Daniel, who said, we lived in apartment 27. Orville was busy with Sheridan Jr. It was like 11 at night. How did Daniel say to the little boy, it's supposed to hurt? I was fucked since I was 22 months. And it hurt like a motherfucker. Surprise, the other one, the 26. He's the one who's bringing all these tricks in. I was amused he had this one. God forgives everything. Yes, my love. Everything. I touched his hand to just feel that it was true. No, God does not heal everything. Anyway, he's the one that said Orville was terrorizing him. A frightening aspect, one that inspires fear, an state of intense fear, an appalling person or thing, especially a brat. Suffice, me and others in the neighborhood have been met with hostility and abusive language and behavior when trying to ask them politely to quiet down. I don't know what your relationship is with David and Nicole. Well, I don't know I know what my relationship is with the International Refugee Mission. They handed an environment, a state of intense fear, those that were formed. One that perpetuated lies and inspires fear. A most frightening aspect. A cause for much anxiety when it leads to domestic violence condoned by a church. I don't know what David's relationship is with Elizabeth Fallon's. I'm not allowed down there. I know that Orville had a relationship with our last tenant, a Mr. Doolittle in Manassas, Virginia. Ask Orville what I did that time. Anyway, the people who live in the neighborhood considered them uncooperative, hostile, and plain nasty. Last night I heard them snoring. American Christians, even though Houston has become a mecca of homosexuality and perversion, and pastors are being asked to submit their sermon, as I am being told to shut the fuck up, more or less. The noise they make with the scrap metal, loading and unloading 5 days a week, I wish, because the way these Mexicans steal from us. We needed to do metal 7 days a week. Is unacceptable. Please address this issue immediately. Eldon Avenue residents of 1131. Right there they have a black homosexual, who unrolled his cock to take a piss. He leaned on Henry's truck. I was so scared. I was afraid that disease would rot the Goodyear, but I don't know. Suffice, I asked the homosexual dressed in a dress, who unrolled his cock at 4 in the afternoon as children were coming. I said, "Are you all right? Do you need 911?" Suffice, 1131. And they have a child care worker. Orville had a thing with a little girl. You hear that baby crying? That baby will one day not understand why she cries. It's sad that women can breed like that and not understand the concept of raising a child. 1111, that's right here, that's owned by that church. I'm very confused by them. 1112, Commonwealth, of course. In fact, this afternoon, the keeper of James Sheridan Sr. and Bridget Patricia Sheridan, who peeped on me 261 days as I fought MRSA and E. coli. And then if that wasn't enough, they just stare at Orville. I mean, be careful. Anyway, I was taking out the garbage, and they stare like these Mexicans. They got most big ears. And the homosexual manager began to yell at me, put down the garbage can and began to yell at me. "What the fuck you staring at?" In front of everybody. No, this is a terrorist community because no one does anything. Yet, 1122, that is the shit engineer. The shit engineer. 27 times that bastard terrorized me. Just today, Orville apologized about the cookie maker. He said, "Nicole, let it go. It's been years ago." I said, "Yeah, baby, but the bitch is still in my face." And she pitted Orville, and yet Orville's the one that beats me. Well, doesn't anymore. Anyway, Orville signed the questions, answers. He's slow. This was stated October 22nd, 2014. Bullying of a disabled senior by adults seeking, walking evil egos and thoughts, flowing actions of terror upon a woman of substance combating MRSA. E. coli, 3 wounds that would not heal due to carbon monoxide poisoning by the International Refugee Mission, and the cream of oath to do no harm. In conjunction with 24/7 verbal to physical abuse by Orville Davis Ray's friend, himself, and the International Refugee Mission on South Eldon Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 9,629. Orville did sign it, an initial. A state of intense fear, one that inspires fear, a frightening aspect, a cause of anxiety, an appalling people. The sound of guns being fired fills me with terror. These are how it's used, Gomer. You know I'm reading. The next one is post-traumatic stress disorder. I think the preacher's daughter is a nurse, so it's their daughter. post-traumatic stress disorder by the Mayo Clinic. It's not the audacity that walks Los Angeles. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome in Portland, Oregon. I was working for the Oregon Health Division. They were trying to murder me like they're doing now. They're trying to figure out how they can't come up with the centavos to do it. Cascade Behavioral Health, 1 block from the Oregon Health Division, diagnosed me with post-traumatic stress. It is a mental health condition that is triggered by a terrifying event. One event. Either experiencing it or witnessing it. Symptoms may include flashbacks, nightmares, and severe anxiety, as well as uncontrollable thoughts about the event. Many people who go through traumatic events have difficulty adjusting and coping for a while, but they don't have PTSD. Neither did they have it since they were drank with warm milk. With time and good self-care, they usually get better. But if the symptoms get worse or last months or even years and interfere with your functioning, you must have PTSD. Treatment is critical. My treatment has been biofeedback, transcendental meditation, self-hypnosis, color, that's music, art, bullying, bullying can be defined in many different styles. This is Wikipedia. Allow me, if not the protection, the ability to have freedom of speech. Bullying can be defined in many different ways, styles. The UK currently has no legal definition of bullying, while some United States have laws against it. California does not. Los Angeles does not. In fact, the police join into the terrorism. Bullying consists of 4 basic types of abuse. Emotional, sometimes called relational, verbal, physical, and cyber. It typically involves subtle methods of coercion, such as intimidation. Bullying ranges from simple one-on-one bullying to more complex bullying, in which the bully may have 1 or more lieutenants. Like the lieutenants for this neighborhood of terrorism was 1131 Korean businessman and the manager. And the terrorist, the gringo boy who continued to came out today and stared at us. He brought the boy. You put a good apple with a bad apple, and that boy's going to end up being like them. Anyway, nothing we can do about it. The lieutenants were, of course, Bridget Patricia Sheridan and James Sheridan, seniors managers. Homosexuals Department 26, Laredo, Islam, who has wrought terrorist actions on me. He has contacted Elizabeth Owens more time than an STD visits a hole, an Eldon Avenue hole. Bully ranges from simple, most simple. Suffice. Lieutenants who may be willing to assist the primary bullying in his or her bullying activities. Bullying in school and the workplace is also referred to as peer bullying. Robert W. Fuller has analyzed bullying in the context of rankism. A bullying culture can develop in a context in which human beings interact with each other. I have been terrorized by the police. I have been terrorized by the police many times. They have parked in front of where I pick up condoms at Leo Ponte. A motorcycle cop stood there and waited for me. I will not stand down. I'm not an STD or criminal. I am an American born. They have followed me to Westmoreland and James Wood. And then after they came in acting real bully-like them terrorists of 1122, he asked me, the big shit asked me, what you getting? I said, I'm getting me some nachos. He continued in a parody of saying about, I'm going to get nachos. If that woman of India had any character or any grace of God at all, she would admit what she heard and show them the videos. Okay, the same place where that whore Cindy followed me. The one that has her bastard going to be taken care of by that daycare worker who believes in God, yet push a little child to the crotch of a married man. Nice people. Okay, that is a bullying. Even though the police, like I say, NSA'd me for that same hoe, and that bitch has followed me more places and is giving credits. Anyway, how many occasions did the international refugee neighbors next door to our residence of 1116 and a half South Eldon Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 9006 2929 intrude on our family, gifting terror in partnership from Protect and Serve of U.S. Koreatown, Los Angeles, to LGBTQ on Schrader in Hollywood, linking with but not limited to non-profit to profit. Now what y'all call that? How many times in America you gotta tell some piece of white trash, leave me the fuck alone? Stay away, is they trying to bring in kites from a hole? No, that is terrorism. Okay. This is the Administration on Aging, AOA. What is elder abuse? Physical abuse. Inflicting physical pain or injury on a senior. Slapping, bruising, or restraining by physical or chemical means. If I was the evil they say I am in undefinition, or would already be someone's cellmate. Neglect, exploitation, the illegal taking, misuse, or concealment of funds, property, or assets of a senior for reasons of someone else's benefit. Emotional abuse, inflicting mental pain, anguish, or distress on an elder person through verbal or non-verbal acts, humiliating, intimidating, or threatening. Americans, you can go walk my Facebook. I have spoken of hate crimes of this neighborhood as they write letters saying that we're default. No, I ain't default. Believe me. What did I, Nicole S. Spray, your wife, a 20-year say to the international refugee missions neighbors next door to our residents? And I went and put up. He's got the answers to that. When I, your wife of 29 years, had you arrested for spousal abuse, who interceded and approached the Los Angeles Koreatown terrorist police? I want to change all this shit. His signature is cheap. When you were released from Los Angeles jail, what happened? Were you served with a restraining order as promised to me, Nicole S. Spray, by Morris Courthouse Domestic Violence Restraining Order Department of Fraud? What occurred as you sat on the stoop? That hole. Let me tell you, when I had them arrested, them nasty Mexican whores of that place right here next to 1122, they came and everybody saw it. It's normal. Lounge there on Orville's truck. They'd be satisfied with an STD, much less a Happy Meal. Well, I got news for them bitches. That is terrorist action. They had one where it was a red car, dumb as all get out. She sat right there and her nose laughed back and forth. Bitch moved her. She wrecked her car. And this is not abuse, elder abuse. Oh. That I already talked about the red car. The International Refugee Mission. When your wife, Nicole S. Spray, of 29 years, had you, Orville, removed from the residence for spousal abuse, a voicemail demanding you be allowed back by the International Refugee Mission, which you purposely deleted, shared the contents of the voicemail. What did Charles W. Singer, principal to the International Refugee, say to you when you returned after incarceration due to spousal abuse? Is your wife of 29 years allowed or welcome into the International Refugee Mission's residence to pay the rent she has paid the entire time? The International Refugee Mission's family friend, Polish immigrant, made a false statement that get to me hard. What was the lies? Orville, your homosexual friend from Westmoreland, who you led me to believe resided in an apartment owned by a sheriff. How many times did this homosexual drug addict intrude in our family? Orville, how many times did your homosexual drug addict friend from Westmoreland give harm to our family by bringing kites from that whole Sunday? Weather hole. Orville Spray, as your wife of 20 years combined MRSA, E. coli, and terror in care of oath to do a holy harm, forced to stand before kitchen sink, cleaning 3 wounds as next door's apartment managers peeped at me. Not for a day, but 261 days. Actions and thoughts reflecting egos without empathy or compassion. Now, I have all of this here. This is the administration of agency, and they may not protect me. This is PTSD. They call me crazy. God dang it, the only reason I'm saying is because of God. And I still walk flashbacks. Now we gotta go downstairs. I'm gonna cut it off now. Just wait. You see Gomer Powell? I'm almost finished. Anyway, we have to go outside. Every STD and their mother will be out there. Orville, I want you to shut up and sit down. And what? Gomer, you had a chance to fix it. I gotta get dressed. In grace of God, honoring prayer, I will return and continue with this video. Listen to him. That's Mr. Wonderful. Y'all be blessed. Oh, I didn't even